I thank you for tonight. I thank you for this very moment. I thank you for my life. I thank you for giving me the chance to share. I thank you for all the blessings. I thank you for the love of my family and friends. I thank you for this time. The purpose of my life is to be a force for good, to experience daily the abundance of joy, and to do compelling learning experiences for myself and others. Welcome. Hi there. This is my first ever live stream attempt. Um, my name is Rex, and maraming salamat for joining me tonight. I'm actually from New Zealand. Have been here for 16 years. Originally from the Philippines. Kompleto yung connection namin. Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao. My wife being from Luzon. I was born in Mindanao, and I grew up in Bukidnon, studied in Cagayan de Oro City. And then when I got married, we moved to Cebu. Now we have 5 children. My educational background, I'm a civil engineer. I graduated from Xavier University in Cagayan de Oro, but I have been involved with business since I was 5 years old. So until now, I'm still doing a business. I'm so blessed. I'm so fortunate to have a business that is attuned to what I really believe in, to what I'm passionate about. And you might ask why I use the word unshackled, because in the past 3 years, I have freed myself from so many limiting beliefs, things that stop me from what I should be doing, from the purpose of my life. So this is my way of sharing with you what I know. Power off. This is my way of sharing with you with a couple of friends. Tonight, I'll be talking with them. You see, I have 3 advocacies. One is about proper stewardship for financial literacy. I really, even back in the Philippines, me and my wife, Joanne, talagang sinishare namin kung anong alam namin tungkol sa pera sa mga kaibigan namin, sa mga trabahante namin, because we saw the need for it. Maraming masipag naman while working, but in the end, they had nothing to show for it dahil walang tumutulong sa kanila on how to handle their money. The second advocacy that I have since identified is entrepreneurship and business. And the third one is personal development, because the best investment that you can do is investing in yourself. So again, thank you so much for joining me. In fact, I'm supposed to start my live stream, my first ever live stream, with the topic of how to start a business in New Zealand. Kasi marami akong kaibigan dito sa New Zealand nagtatanong paano daw mag-start ng business. So paano yung business structure and everything. So scheduled with me was a very young accountant na taga New Zealand din. He has 3 properties at a young age of 27, and he's so happy to share with us the secret to inspire people, to inspire lalo na yung mga young Filipinos, to look at other options of getting or earning an income. But then suddenly, last weekend, may dumalaw sa aking kaibigan ko back from Cebu pa. We sort of talked about a lot of many things. Syempre, catch up after so many months of lockdown. And then very casually, as he was about to go, he mentioned that he had a bout of depression for 18 months. Now, I was surprised because from a very happy person, I know him, he's very intelligent. I'm saying that because he's here with me in the studio. Very witty. He's really up there. We belong to the same Toastmasters Club in Cebu, the San Miguel in Lapula, in Mandaue. It was really good. And for him to have a bout of depression was something that really caught my attention. So, because you see, I really believe that everything starts here in the mindset. So how can you have a good mindset, a proper mindset, if yung mental health mo hindi maganda, di ba? So that sparked an idea. So here we are. Let's start our conversation to raise awareness, to demystify, to destigmatize mental health related issues. After that initial conversation with my friend Raul, I have since found out that it's actually common in the Philippines. The DOH said 1 in 5 Filipinos have some mental health concerns, and I believe it is slightly higher in New Zealand. I'll have to confirm with our later with our guest. Okay, so I'll call in Cora Lakindanum to share with us, because she's been sort of working in this field, helping people around this area. So Cora, ilalagay ko si Cora dito. be kind with us. This is the first live stream. Hi, Cora.
Yeah, this is my first live. Thank you, Brother Rex, for inviting me over for this live podcast. I'm Cora Lakindanum, Sichon Lakindanum. I'm actually from Pampanga. Um, yeah, when Brother Rex invited me or just gave me the idea that he wanted to have something the papanahon or timely regarding the mental health at the moment because of firstly he says it's there are lots of people now who are suffering from depressions because of COVID or people who lost their job, and I said it's not that just that COVID, it's rampant. Anyone can have it regardless if you lost job, regardless what status in your life. So my
Sis,
background is
let me interrupt you. Can you
okay.
put in your headphone or use your headphone?
Yeah,
Nag-echo tayo.
nag-echo tayo. Okay, I'll just remove
Yeah.
it. Is it all right now?
Okay, yep, I think that's better.
Okay, my background, I've got a bachelor's degree in psychology, and when I came to New Zealand, I studied psychotherapy and counseling and hypnoanalysis as well. So I got diploma in psychotherapy, and I'm doing dual diagnosis behavior specialist with people with disability and they had mental illness. So it's quite parang yeah, I like the idea and I like the topic because it's really timely at the moment because there's a lot of mental issues nowadays that we have to be aware and destigmatize that
Yep.
a mental issues is not really something to be ashamed of. In fact, people need to reach out.
Okay, Sis
It
Cora,
has to be in open.
I think I'll also have to use my headphone. No? Kasi echo tayo eh. All right, just bear with us. Para malakas na talaga ang boses natin, sis. Just to lighten up the conversation. Just can you hear me?
I can. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't use mine
So
now.
itong just to lighten up the conversation before tayo maging serious masyado, sis. Anyway, we still have a lot of time. We'll be until 9 p.m.
Yeah.
To lighten up the conversation, itong si Sis Cora, I met her and the husband Jojo when we first moved to New Zealand, and that was in Hamilton. Sila yung taga-raid ng pantry namin. Kaya pag pumunta sila ng bahay, umiiyak yung mga anak namin. Pasensya na sis ha. Pasensya na. No, truly,
Yeah, that's true.
we consider her as our family here in New Zealand. Kasama kami sa community, sa Couples for Christ. And yeah, talagang memories natin sa Hamilton, really good. So ang una kong tanungin sa'yo, sis, gusto ko itanong sa'yo is there a proactive way or is there anything that we can do to ensure na magkaroon tayo ng tamang pag-iisip na, how to say that, yung mental health natin mapanatili? Do you have any recommendations?
Okay. First of all, yeah, if you're gonna ask me, that's what you said. Disclaimer: we are not qualified to give advice talaga, because at the moment they if there's a problem na feeling nila may problem, seek a health professional. Because no one can help you except yourself, but health professional can help you deal with your problem, especially. Mental illness is not rarely seen visually, so kailangan malaman muna, we have to know first if what we're feeling at the moment is depressions or it's already the chronic depressions. We have to know the symptoms, which is, do we have to tackle now how this one would go?
Hindi pa naman, more on
more on ano lang.
Yung parang proactive na approach kasi rather than going to kung ano yung dapat i-treat.
It's just acknowledge. It's just an acknowledge that something's wrong. Don't hide. Don't just Don't just go
Dahil
on
nga
your
lang,
room and hide
yeah,
and
okay.
cry it out.
All right. So just to give you some some context. Actually, after my friend visited me last weekend, I checked around with friends. Like mayroon akong kaibigang psychologist who is based in the Philippines, studied in Sydney. Tinanong ko rin yung GP ko. Just ano lang, parang napaka-unfortunate kasi short notice and they cannot be here with us tonight. It would have been good to have a professional with us. But ang input nila is something like this. It has something to do with your general well-being. Like ako, personally, I would say there are 5 areas sa buhay mo na dapat mong titingnan talaga kasi it will create imbalance pag hindi mo titigan. So one is yung mental health, spiritual health, emotional health, physical health, and financial health. Karamihan natin nakatutok lang sa physical and sa financial health kaya nakikita natin. Pero yung things that we cannot see, yung emotional, spiritual, and anong yung isa emotional health, minsan hindi natin pinapansin kasi we thought it's just normal. But if there's an imbalance sa 5, like pera halimbawa, ito yung advocacy ko yung proper stewardship for financial literacy. Whether you like it or not, whether marami kang pera o wala kang pera, it will create a lot of stress sa buhay mo. Di ba sis? Alam mo ba yun? Pag maraming pera, na ikaw marami kang pera, susunod-sunod ako sa'yo palagi. Stress ka sa akin. Alright. Okay? So, yun ang nakikita ko, di ba? Physical health, ganun din. Kasi you may be the wealthiest person in the world, but you are physically healthy, kawawa ka rin, di ba? And how much more for our mental health? Kasi as I've said earlier, I believe na lahat starts from here. So if you're not healthy mentally, then a lot of things can happen. Ba? So yun ang ibig sabihin. Ang sabi ng GP ko halimbawa, it's directly related to your overall well-being. Like exercising, for example, it releases a lot of happy hormones. So she really recommended na mag-exercise talaga or do something physical. Okay. So, pero may nabanggit siya sis, may checklist daw eh. And I think I've mentioned that to you as well nung nag-usap tayo. May checklist daw on, like, there are so many parameters kung may lalaman nila if you're supposed to seek help na.
Yeah. Actually, tama ka that sabi dun sa studies, if you're experiencing distress or anxiety for 2 weeks, you know, na because sometimes this loneliness or feeling of solitude or unhappiness, it just passed through us, just like it would not last for a few days, for a week, maybe a week. But if it lasts for more than 2 weeks and it's already having an effect on your social life, on your physical, on your mental thinking,
Mental as well? Okay.
spiritual, lahat ng yan. So it's not just one. It's tama ka na. It's a totality. You cannot just pinpoint that.
Yeah, let me interrupt sis. Just to acknowledge some of our friends from all over. Aba, may nanood pa taga Hawaii. Oh, Janice, kumusta ka na dyan? Jason, ito yung social media consultant ko. O yan, ginawa ko na yung sinabi mo. Now, I'm finally found a time to do this live. I have some classmates sa Bukidnon pa. Fidela, how are you?
Oh.
Wow, mga, ayan, taga Cebu. Christine, she'll be joining us later. My sister, who's actually a doctor, so we have 2 doctors in the family, and here I am talking about mental health. Siguro I can invite my sisters later, no, if they can put in something. Unfortunately, hindi naman siguro ito yung specialization nila. One is a pathologist in Perth. The other one, who's with us right now, kagwapo do sa host sa way pabor-pabor. My sister in Cagayan de Oro, she's an OB-GYN. Yan. So, yeah, going back sa pinag-usapan natin, I think it's time to bring in my friend Raul, who started the whole thing for me. I will now put you back to the studio, sis, and then I'll call you later again. I'll put Raul in, okay? Okay, see you later. Oops. Kumusta, bay? Kumusta? Hello? Apps? Nope. Naka-off ang imuhang ano. Let me see ha. Naka-off ang imuhang mic. Your microphone is off.
How about that?
Yeah, there you go. Okay, so kumusta ang imong Tony Robbins comeback challenge?
Very nice, Rex. In fact, sa day 1, ako mo proceed sa day 2 because there are so many powerful one-liners. So, I had to review day 1 again and again. So, and
I know you're still fired up. That's how you feel every time you join the Tony Robbins challenge. Okay, but anyway, in a sentence or two, tell us something about yourself. Mura lang ka ng table topic sa Toastmasters sa una, no? Okay, tell us something about yourself, Bay.
First of all, good evening, and Rex, thank you for the chance, because as much as people help me, this is the way that I can pay it forward. So hopefully sa sharing ko ngayon, some people will also gain some insights. So just about myself, I'm Raul. I'm happily married, and true to the belief that once is enough for a wise man. I've been married once. I have one wife and one son, and we have one dog. I grew up in Cebu, and we arrived in New Zealand almost 16 years ago. 16 years to the day on July 30, 2020. And I am a chemical engineer by profession. I've been in the glass industry for 23 years now. And I'm a Toastmaster at heart and a positive thinker by choice. So, but I also was diagnosed with mild to moderate depression on September 2017. So, and that will be the story I would like to share with Rex and the rest of his
So let me just interrupt by actually kita ra may istorya ani ba kanang uban mga eavesdroppers na sila, they are just listening to our conversation. This is not an interview, no, this is just a conversation, just to drive the point home na when I first met Raul in Cebu sa among Toastmasters sa San Miguel, lamig ito among Toastmasters Club in Cebu because we get to drink freshly brewed beer, ice cold beer during, before and after the meeting. And I really find him to be witty, to be funny, to be full of life. So that's the reason why when he mentioned about depression, I was shocked because he would be the last person that I would think. So it's so brave of you to come here all and share your experience. So let me ask you this: what was the trigger? Like I know from other people's experience that there was a trigger. Like in your case, what was the trigger?
Well, first regarding your comment, it's very important that you mentioned something about you. I'm one of the last people that you would expect.
Yes.
It's actually very deceptive, depression, because people, I think a lot of them are stigmatized by it. I was quite open actually about depression, but because of my natural personality, even my boss did not know until I told him. In fact, his exact words were, "You hide it very well." And
you hide it very well. Kabaus Jackie Anna, does your wife know that you hide things very well?
I need to talk to her after this that I was depressed.
All right.
None of my workmates knew. So they had no idea talaga that I was depressed. And they had no idea the dark place that I was in for the 18 months. But to go back to your question, when it started, I have actually been in and out of depression since 2010. So in 2010, there was a traumatic experience triggered by a financial crisis of my own making. because to make long story short, I decided to play with the stocks and I lost money. And being a guy who thought of himself as efficient, always wanting to save, always proud to use the 6 cents per liter savings from Pack and Save.
Who wouldn't?
Yes, it was quite a big blow to lose thousands, and that was the very first time in my life that I experienced that. And being, I guess, my personality, because I'm a perfectionist and an achiever by nature. So it was a big blow for me, but personally, how can I allow this to happen? So, long story short, it triggered my first really bad bout with depression. It lasted maybe 6 months, but at that point it was clear and trigger. So it was on and off until there was a time in 2012 that began what eventually ended up to be my really bad case of depression. What triggered it was I have a very sensitive sense of hearing, and one night at 1 a.m., I woke up to the ticking of our clock inside the room.
So like tick tock, like that.
Tick tock,
Okay.
and I couldn't go back to sleep. So I was awake from 1 to 6 when I needed to wake up to go to work. So that was the first night. Second night, it happened again, exactly 1 a.m. I have no idea why my body decided to wake up at that exact time. 1 o'clock, heard a tick tock of the clock again, then couldn't go back to sleep. My mistake was I allowed that to happen for 3 nights before I threw the wall clock out of a room. So
Okay.
I think my body clock was restarted by that incident. Every 1 o'clock I would wake up. And it got to a point wherein I became very lethargic sa work, and I ran out of sick leaves. It came to a point where
Yeah, that's very interesting because I'm going to ask you nga sa effect ana niya sa imong self, sa family, relationship, sa work, sa life. But before that, I would like to acknowledge some comments here. So from Iligan, wow, Ate Inday, you're actually here. Oh, my sister's my sister based at Perth. The pathologist is here as well. A lot of wow, a lot of my friends are here. See, I told you, all my relatives and friends will be here joining us tonight. Bethel, hi. So sorry Kalilita guys, no green jokes tonight. Medyo serious sa usapan. Okay, again, Kristen Carson, who will be speaking with later. She said, "So brave of you, po, to share your experience. Thank you, because not a lot of people are brave enough to say like, hey guys, this is something that we can actually sort of survive, or something like survive. Ang tawag na Raul?
I think so.
Now, for those who are listening, before you, yeah. How do you say that? Survive, surmount?
If I were to describe my experience with depression, Rex, before I go into the details, it's like you're in a blizzard. You don't know where you're going, but the only way you have any chance of
in a blizzard.
Yeah, in a blizzard, like a really strong snowstorm, a blizzard. So you can't see anything, man. It's
yeah.
So, but you also know, I also knew the only way I could get out of it is I need to keep crawling, because if I stop moving, I'll freeze to death. So you need to keep moving, but you don't know when it will end. But the only chance you can have, the only chance you have is really to keep moving, keep crawling. And so, so anyway, you want me to start with the details of how it became the 18-month struggle? So
okay. Oh wow. So how did you like go about asking for help? Did somebody call your attention? Did you just go to a doctor?
No, because I also wanted to get out of it. I think that was a big part of how I was able to deal with it, because it was on and off, but the really bad episode that I had started in July 2017, wherein nag-start na naman na I couldn't sleep, and then it got to a point wherein I couldn't see it ending na. Before it ended after 4 months or 5 months. And then I just felt it was really bad. So I availed of what our company called an employee assistance program. And so I saw a therapist. So that was the first stage.
I think, Raul, let me interrupt. Something is wrong with our connection, no, siguro. Can you still hear us, guys? Very bad.
Mahir pa nila, Rex?
Sorry. If you can hear me, guys. Sorry for that. It must be my Wi-Fi connection here. I'll bring back Raul, mga birthing pangs. I'll acknowledge before I bring Raul back. My sister said early morning awakening, a sign of depression. Okay. Yeah, kung tiguang na, musim kung matag sa'yo. Rose, thank you for watching from Cebu City. Hamilton, James Mark. Claro man kuya. Bobby, thank you for dropping in. Can hear all right. That's really cool, loud and clear. See, all my relatives, my very guapong pamangkin in Perth is with us. Kevin. Okay, I'll bring in Raul again. And if you have any questions for him, please type a message and we'll be happy to answer. Can bye kadayon tabay. So you were saying ikaw mismo, you yourself. By the way, for those who are tuned in right now, we will cross across three languages: English, Cebuano, Tagalog, but most of the time we'll speak in English and Tagalog if possible. So, Bay, go ahead. So you were saying earlier before tanaputol, nga you yourself noticed something bad because during our conversation you also told me na yung misis mo si Jackie also called your attention that there's something different in you, and like your eating pattern, your sleeping pattern. Could you elaborate more about that?
Yeah, so in terms of eating and losing weight, no, yung tinatawag na ng Jenny Craig, that's nothing compared to depression. So you want to lose weight, get depressed. Talaga, ang weight loss ko nun was so severe. I had hold to my belt talaga because my pants were falling off. I'm not kidding. All of my clothes were getting so loose. Because though I ate, I found it strange because even though I ate, I was not gaining weight. So it's strange, maybe the lack of sleep. So I started a therapist, but one of the first lessons I learned was when I saw that therapist. She asked me a question. She said, "What do I do as a hobby?" And I told her, so I answered, "What do you mean?" And she said, "What do you do? It will make me happy." I said, "Well, actually, New Zealand, because it's only us. I'm happy by I gain happiness by doing things with my son. I'm going to his sports and doing things with him."
Okay.
But she said something that really struck me. She said, "No, what do you do for yourself?" And I said, "Well, actually, I don't do anything for myself because I need to take care of my son." And then she said, "No, you also need to take care of yourself." And she said, "There's nothing wrong with being selfish because eventually you will get drained down." So I said, "No, actually, even like I mentioned to you, I haven't been with Toastmasters all this time because I just so focused on my son. And there's nothing wrong with that per se. I realized that actually something wrong with that because eventually it will affect my son because it was starting to affect really my family. And when we were having dinner, it was like they were talking to the wall talaga. I couldn't absorb what they were saying to me. A lot of times I would just be yung tulala in the dining table. Na it's like I wasn't there. I mean, physically I was there, but mentally I was just absent sa bahay. So I used up all of my sessions as therapist and then still didn't get better. So I'm so against personally I am so against using pills, but it got to a point when I just told Jackie na I had to throw everything, including the kitchen sink, because I'm not getting any better. And
so mayo na, it's a good thing sa imong part kay you have that awareness. I believe some would even know or are not aware nga inana na nila kay, for example, wa ka try before o wa sila yung mga amigo nga paingnan, abi nila it's just them, ba? So that's really good to hear. That's really good to hear. We're actually reaching the halfway mark, 8:28. Like, wow. Inana already ka simple. Yeah. First step.
Time flies when you're depressed.
Okay, so let me ask you, based on your experience, unsa may imong suggestion, like what are the early signs nga they should seek treatment na or seek help na? Kay basin diay nag-uulang kay gibuwag uyab or namatay ang iring or nag-uulang kay pati ang weather. You know what? When we first arrived in New Zealand, I applied for a position with NZ Post, and one of the questions was, do you feel down during winter or something like that? Or, does weather affect you? Ako, kay gikan Pilipinas, ulan init lang. So I said, no, it doesn't. But after my first winter, I couldn't say the same. Actually, the weather may affect you po, di ba? So in your case, based on your experience, sabi mong suggestion, we're not giving any advice here, ha? Based on sabi mong suggestion to make sure nga you're still I'll say that sane, or I don't want to use that word, but you're not depressed or anything.
Before or when you're in the state na na-diagnose na with depression?
I mean, at any state, like if you notice something, like the best time to do is nip it in the bud. Like, you don't wait until it really gets bad.
But based lang sa experience ko, the best way talaga to avoid it is the thing I mentioned to you is to build up your mental health immune system. So
okay, let's talk about that. Yes, how do you go about it?
So this is just based on what I went through. So the the ironic thing about depression, based on my experience, and I'm not saying this will work for everyone, but this worked for me, is that the very things that were going to help me were the hardest things to do, like exercise, going out with friends. They were so hard to do. So alam ng wife ko that something's wrong, because usually on weekends I would always wake up earlier because my body clock wakes up around 5:30, 5:45. So usually by the time they wake up, I have started doing chores sa bahay and stuff. But when I was depressed, she would actually have to drag me out of bed at 10:30 in the morning, because it was, we had to get up. So it's hard to get up of bed, much more so exercising. It's very hard to do. But these are the things that will really help na ma-prevent ang onset sa depression based on my experience. And so now I take the point to exercise every day.
Okay, I have a very good question from my pamangkin based in Perth. Okay, from Kevin. Did you only notice symptoms of depression after losing money in the share market? Were there any signs beforehand? Because itong pamangkin ko is into share market investing, so he would like to know. Thanks, Kevin.
No, not really. I did not immediately become depressed, Kevin, after that happened when I lost money in the share market. What happened was I allowed depression to set in by not dealing with it right away. And this is a very important realization that I had. And I came to this while I was talking with my sister daily. Thank God for Viber, really, because sa sister ko,
Viber.
every day kami nagbablog, because even ang wife ko, si Jackie, Rex, was already becoming affected. So I could not talk to her anymore about my being depressed, because she was also depressed.
Bye-bye. Kini si Kevin, English na siya. Hindi ka balong Tagalog or Bisaya. Okay, I'll show that again. So did you notice symptoms of depression after losing money on the share market? Yeah, so you said murag after na kay,
Initially one can say that my depression was triggered by my losing money in the share market, but in hindsight, my depression really became bad because I allowed the depression to get that bad. What my sister kept telling me during the time that we were talking every day sa phone is only I can help myself, and I can go to therapists, to psychiatrists, and all that, but I need to make a decision to get out of being depressed. So
yeah. So I think that's a very valid question from my nephew, in Perth, si Kevin. Thank you, Kevin, for that. Hi, Marivic. Hi, Ate Hana. Because nowadays, like with this pandemic, a lot of people are either walang trabaho or are earning so much less. Lalo na sa Philippines, I understand may mga places na naka-lockdown pa, and it's not easy. Here in New Zealand, 3 months of lockdown na hindi talaga makalabas sa bahay, that was really something. On other hand, it really depends on how you look at it. Kasi sa family namin, halimbawa, for 6 years, we've been wanting to finish our garden at the back of our house. So when COVID happened, it just happened in just 1 week. Where everything was done, we have now a beautiful family vegetable garden. In fact, nag-harvest na kami ngayon. Hindi na kami bumibili ng mga mga lettuce, mga ganun, kasi galing na sa garden namin. So something good can come out of any situation. So, but on the other, having said that, there are many occasions wherein situations na a family or even a single individual person can be in a desperate situation. Like itong Unshackled, when I started this page, a lot of people from India, from the Philippines, asking for help. One really took my attention, like a father of 3 young kids, ages 2, 4, and 6. Nagpadala ng picture doon sa, by the way, like that page, Rex Unshackled, nagpadala ng picture ng anak niya na 2-year-old, nag-drink ng diluted coffee kasi wala na siyang pambili ng gatas. Na being a father of 5, naiyak talaga ako in a way, like, wow. And any parent would do anything to be able to support the kids, pero wala na talaga. So to cut the story short, nahanapan naman ng paraan yung gatas sa anak niya. But what I'm saying is right now, a lot of families are suffering. A lot of families are dealing with this reality na wala talaga makain, wala mapuntahan. So I understand yung tanong ni Kevin halimbawa, regarding sa yung nalugi ka ng pera sa share market. And I will not ask you about the amount kasi alam ko malaki-laki yun to cost that much. Yep.
Hindi rin alam ni Jackie.
Hindi alam ni Jackie. Dako, sige, i-whisper lang natin. Tayo lang naman dalawa nag-uusap dito eh. So yeah, Jason, thank you for that. You're doing something uncomfortable by stepping outside your comfort zone. I'm with you, Kuya Raul. Whatever makes you comfortable, uncomfortable really is the biggest opportunity for growth and will save you from depression. Tama, tama. And I hope by sharing your story right now, sharing experience, kung meron na tayong isa o dalawa na para bang natapik natin sa shoulder na, hey, it's not about you, you know? So yeah, life happens to us. Not happens for us rather than to us. It really depends on your sister ko. I really love her, si Ferlin. She inspires us a lot. She shares a lot of her wisdom when it comes to investing, when it comes to life. Sabi niya, and I think maganda yung sinabi niya, di ba? When life throws lemon at you, then make a lemonade or something like that. And it helps that we have a close family rin na we tend to uplift each other. Kaysa naman hilaan na puro sad, Misery Needs Company. Marivic Riconalia. Hi Vic, Bukidnon, Maglinaw. Wow, all over talaga. Thank you mga kapitbahay, kamag-anak, kaklase nandito, nanonood.
There were you asked me what helped me get over it. So there were 3 apps that really helped me, and I'd like to share this with your audience. 3 apps because there's a time, Jude, when things are so dark that, let's just put it this way, I was actually, the unthinkable crossed my mind, doing the unthinkable crossed my mind. But these 3 apps helped me to hold on. One is family, because I just kept thinking how devastated my family will be if I gave in. So my wife, my son especially, and also my mom in the Philippines, and my sister. The other is my faith. Being a believer in Catholic, I know that it's strongly against my faith. So my faith played a very important role. And lastly, is my friend. So my friend helped me by just being there, people to talk to. And at work, I identified 3 people that I could trust. One of them being my boss. Na I spoke to them, I shared with them my problem. Fortunately, I made the right choice.
Pero na ko'y bahay gamay-bay, ka-amigo na to, all this time, wa dyan ko'y inkling kay pag-enter sa Facebook, you were so happy, you were so you're saying you opened up to certain people that you think can handle the information, and you're also shielding other people from knowing it because you think it might not be appropriate. Is it?
Not that. Pero, it's just people that I interact with almost every day. Those were the people that I had a choice whether to share to or not. Kasi during that time, for some reason, hindi tayo masyado nakita nun. But I think I might have mentioned it at some point casually to Joanne, na when, but not really. Like when we talked, diba, casual ko lang din na-mention to you. Then you pick it up for some reason that when I mentioned it to you. But there were, when I said choose certain people, these are the people that I really spoke to in detail about what I was going through.
Na ko'y na-learn during our 7-day comeback challenge. It was mentioned, the feeling of helplessness, because when you're helpless, strange things come to mind. It can be extremes. So there are 3 P's now for you to feel helpless. One is you think that the problem is permanent. Like it will never go away, but no problem is. Okay. The second one is pervasive. Like if you're a failure in one area of your life, then you get to say and keep on telling yourself that you will fail in all other aspects of your life, when in fact it's not. It's And the third one is personal. So ito yung tinatawag na death knell, na personal, na I'm not good, I'm broken, talagang sira yung whatever it is. So ito pala yung feeling of helplessness can come from 3 P's. Permanent, which is not true; pervasive, which is not true again; and personal. In fact, that's why it's healthy to talk to somebody. Kasi minsan pag hindi ka you don't go out and talk to people, you wouldn't know na meron palang solusyon yun. Like we have sort of a similar experience, even with my own family, like sa mga kids ko. We always look at the symptoms, like bakit itong isang ito palaging yung school, mumaliit pa sila, tumatawag yung school, nanununtok, yung may anger management, blah blah blah. It turned out there was an underlying reason pala. So it's a good thing na dito sa New Zealand, ito palang numbers, by the way, yung nag-ticker natin dito, these are all New Zealand numbers. So sorry sa mga wala sa New Zealand. I'm sure sa iba-ibang countries may mga support lines din. Just seek them out. Okay, going back to my son, for example, it's a good thing na dito pala they offer all the support. Like, in fact, the school assigned a counselor for the boy, and now he's fine. He's doing very well at school. Siguro it was because he was so intelligent, he cannot cope up with some of his classmates. Basta mainit yung ulo niya, nanununtok na. So every time before, when he was, I think, primary 3, how do you say that? Grade 3 ba yan? Or basta 3, okay?
Okay. Year 3?
So every time, year 3, pag nag-ring yung phone, ayaw namin sagutin ni Joanne, lalo na pag during school hours. Nako, ito na naman. And then it turned out, yun pala, may underlying reason. Kaya palagi natin nakikita yung symptoms lang without looking at the underlying reason. So it can never be, it can never be solved. What do you think? Sa experience mo, ganun din ba?
Because there are two sides mo siguro. In my case, maybe I was just fortunate because by nature I'm very open. So like when you ask me, I open up right away. But not everyone is like that. So sometimes maybe when you're more aware of ano ang symptoms, you might be able to help someone by asking them, "Are you okay?" And sometimes that's all it takes. Na if you notice that he's being withdrawn.
That's right.
Losing weight is one of the most common and in my case, I also lost some hair.
Ayaw padung bay daghan na tana. Let me just read some comments, right, ha? Let me just read some comments. Christine, thank you so much for this input. Sabi niya, we can also face all this challenge by 3 Fs: family, faith, and friends. That's why we Filipinos are very, in a sense, very resilient. Kasi pag medyo feeling down, kakanta lang tayo, pupunta lang sa barkada. And that's something that I miss here in New Zealand, because back in the Philippines, any time of the week, any day of the week, you can actually go to a friend's house and you inom there, and karaoke here, and that will solve a lot of your, melt all those stresses away. One other comment here, Miriam, a friend back in MSU, Marawi. I can relate to this issue. Sad to say, my husband, passed away because of depression. Sad to hear. Sorry to hear about that, Miriam. And as you said earlier, you mentioned earlier, if somebody in the family does that, it affects a lot of other people, no? Okay. So, Ruth Bailey, yep, go ahead.
Because you mentioned also what helped me get over it, and you also talked about why and you feel like you're worthless. It's true. I even started to question how I was as a husband, how I was as a father. And I opened up to another friend of ours who was with Nico's basketball team before. And she gave me a very helpful tip talaga. And I'm hoping that this will also help people who are also in a difficult situation. What she suggested to me was look at our old family pictures, because these are
your old family pictures.
Our old family pictures, because these are usually times that you take memories of happy moments together as a family. So I actually did that. I look at all our old pictures because we're smiling, we're reminiscing, happy moments together as a family. And that really
pero I think, in my case, siguro ma-feel sad ko gamay. Kaya time was when akong buhok taman pa diri, oh. Or not. Okay. I'll read the comment of Sis Ruth from Hamilton. The love and support of family is the best cure of depression and anxiety, especially for the young teenagers and young adult. So, yun lang siguro, no, we have to be sensitive siguro sa may mga change ng pattern, na mga pagkain, tulog, ganun. Siguro we should be more sensitive. Melz, if you're listening to me, Melz, would you like to come in, Melz? Would you like to say something? Melz? No? You're fine? Okay. I'm looking at the studio and who's in here. So let me just check if Sis Cora, would you like to come in again to the screen and then share whatever you want to say? No? Yep, okay. I'll add you to the stream. I'll invite Sis Cora back in, ha? Yes.
Okay. Meron akong konting notes na dito. Sabi ko sa'yo, may mga notes din ako. Na you're right that what manifested na nakikita, it's our body, there's a changes that you notice on your feeling when you're depressed. First, you feel like your brain won't rest, just like Raul says, or it's harder to think things through. Parang hindi ka makapag-isip. So that's one. And feeling extremely unmotivated or lacking in energy. Yun nga, the exercise, nawala na siya doon. So it's all, mga feeling numb and cold inside. So you think that wala kang nararamdaman and you don't care. And feeling restless, moody, and easily annoyed or unable to sit still. That's the body manifestation. Na you're not sleeping. You don't even look after yourself. Sometimes you don't even take a shower. Or some people I know doesn't brush their teeth anymore, doesn't comb their hair. So that's the extreme part. No, that's true. That's true. Those who doesn't care because they don't care. They don't have any feeling. They don't care about other people, what they're thinking about them. So that's one
Ikaw naman,
part.
sis, napa-close ako ng mouth bigla eh.
No, I mean, minsan kasi, and minsan mabaho sila. Sometimes because they lack hygiene. No. The hygiene part of them started, they don't really look after themselves. Isang body, that's just one part. The body.
What you're saying is, ito yung mga telltale sign. Like if somebody we love or we know.
Telltale signs, yeah. Somebody who, it's not just happen overnight. Kunwari, you don't make Ligo, you don't have a shower for 2 days. You're not depressed, but it's that part of it na you lack motivation. You don't go out. Your social life's been affected. You don't get out anymore. You don't the thing that you used to do, you don't like to do anymore. It's the body that started to manifest that something's wrong within you.
Ito yung concern ng condition na ito, sis, no? Itong mental health issues kasi hindi siya physical, di mo nakikita eh. It's all in here. And I think the only person who would know what's happening is the person who's experiencing it himself. And then yung mga physical na lang na hindi naliligo, nagtutoothbrush. Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, but yeah, that's one. And then the mind. These are some of the changes you might notice yourself feeling when you're depressed.
Sige. Okay.
Thinking the worst about everything. Thinking the worst about everything. So you're pessimist. Having trouble concentrating on any one thing for very long. So Raul can attest to this thing that I'm saying, because I think he experienced this, but it was already on my note. And thinking that you can cope or get through your tasks like you would before. Feeling hopeless, feeling ashamed, feeling sad, thinking badly about yourself. Yung sinasabi nga niya, di ba? Feeling that you have lost your energy. Yung sa mind. So you're thinking about that one. So there's as well another social one, which is another aspect. Kaya sabi sa'yo, it's not just one aspect. There's a lot of totality on it. It's not just di ka naliligo, you're depressed,
so maraming,
so yeah. So there's another one. Wala na ako.
Sis, let me interrupt you sandali ha. Kasi yung word kasi na depressed, lalo na sa mga Filipino, like we use it very casually, lightly, like na-depress ako kasi wala akong pera. Na-depress ako kasi hindi ako nakabili ng mangga. Na-depress ako kasi yung mga ganyan.
So we overuse the word depressions. Pag malungkot ka, depressed ako, wala akong pera, depressed ako, I don't have money, I'm depressed. I broke up with my boyfriend, I'm depressed. So depression is not different from lungkot, loneliness.
May nag-react sa'yo, sis, ha? May nag-react sa'yo, yung misis ni Raul. Sabi ni, hi Jackie, how are you? Just for the record, mabango namang husband ko when he was in the state of depression. Malinis pa rin at naliligo every day.
No, it's just one of those. I just had to cite an example that some who lost, kasi you lost your motivation. You lost your motivation. You don't have any more something to look forward to. So why would you look after yourself? You don't care. You don't have anything to look forward to. So isang ano lang yan, kumbaga it's just physical.
Sige. Becoming withdrawn and lack of self-drive to do anything is another symptom. So there are so many symptoms talaga, no?
Yes.
So iba-ibang tao, iba-iba yung ano niya. Wow, it's just unfortunate na yung mga I was expecting na mga professionals will be joining us, mental health professionals will be joining us tonight ay hindi talaga makarating. I'm sure.
But we are disclaimers.
Yeah. We're just opening up the discussion na kung may nararamdaman kayo na hindi siya usual, talk to your friends, talk to your family. Now, if you have any questions, please. We will be happy to answer them if we can. Otherwise, tingnan nyo ito. Ipapatakbo ko yung banner natin with regards to mga helpline. So, need to talk. Puro ito mga free helpline ito eh. So,
kasi my last sent is we have to discuss this one in the open because especially Filipino, we are stigmatized. It's parang it become sa pamilya, if someone is feeling had a mental health, parang nakakahiya, we tend to shy away and we hide. The family is in denial and they could not really open up sa public because it's something that's been ashamed of, it's
tama
not
kasi siya na before, di ba, yung sa AIDS, HIV, pag mayroon ka niyan, para ka nang may kitong, may, like even leprosy before. Ito naman, yung like even ang COVID, di ba, sa Philippines dati, talaga daw binabato yung bahay, ganun. So the same is true with mental health issues.
Yes.
Yeah, parang may label siya na hindi naman tama, parang hindi naman sakto, di ba?
Some people in the province pa nga because they lack education or knowledge about mental health. One of their family members, sometimes we all know that I told you before that maybe one in your family or someone friends, we all know that there's one member of our immediate network is suffering for mental illness. I for one, sa family ko meron din, family ni Jojo meron din. So
lahat ng family meron siguro talaga.
Yes.
Iba-ibang level, ano?
Iba-ibang level, but it's just a mental health. It's something to be, not to be ashamed, but still, Filipinos are still ashamed to face it or accept someone in the family.
Ito yung kay James from Hamilton. It makes sense when you look at old photos. It will bring you back to happy memories. I can attest to that. We had a very nice family cruise last September in Australia with all my brothers and sisters. Every time I look at those pictures, wow, I still keep on smiling. By the way, congratulations, Bro James. Nanalo siya ng, wow, bigatin yun eh. Parang World Karaoke Challenge and he was the champion.
Manager.
From all over the world. Parang siya nanalo, a Pinoy here based in Auckland, based in New Zealand. Okay. Okay, we're getting close to the end of our live stream. Thank you so much for being part of this. Wow, I've survived my first live stream ever. And again, this is my way of sharing with you, my time, my whatever talent I have, whatever resources that I have, because that was really quick. Again, I thank you so much for joining our conversation tonight. Leave your comments below, like our page, Rexiap Unshackled. Tell us what you want us to talk about. Next Thursday, same time, 8 p.m. This time, matutuloy na talaga yung usapang negosyo. It will be a discussion between a conversation. Again, it's not an interview, just like this. It will be a conversation about starting a business in New Zealand. Ano yung tamang mindset? Ano yung tamang ownership structure? how to register a business, ano yung mga tax implication, kasi may mga kababayan tayo dito sa New Zealand who have 2, 3, 4 properties already, and yet hindi tama yung paggagawa. So yung mabigat yung tax implication yan, it should be treated as a business already. So I'll be talking with Gino about that, and so many other things. So for those watching the replay, salamat. Join us next time so we can interact and address your questions too. Before I go, I would like to ask my friends to say some parting words. I'll start with Raul. Bye.
Oh, Rex. Thank you again for this chance, because the only way really I could repay those who helped me get out of the depression that I was in was to pay it forward. So hopefully in a way, it doesn't mean depressed kayo, but you might be able to help someone. If you see signs, a tap on the shoulder and just asking how they are will do wonders. So, and even if you are experiencing some mental health issues, don't be afraid to reach out, because it's not something to be ashamed about. And yeah, it's just another thing that you need to get over talaga.
All right. Thank you so much, bro. I love you, bro. Thank you for sharing your experience. Wow. So nice of you. Thank you so much. Okay.
Anytime.
And I'll go to Sis Cora. See you tomorrow. Sis, any parting words?
Okay, thank you for inviting me over. Though, yeah, it's a good discussion, because this is already in the open, and little by little we started to acknowledge that in the community, in our family, there's people who are suffering depressions or mental health, because there's a lot of mental health, not just depressions, they are bipolar or things. But yeah, reach out, as what Raul says, reach out, acknowledge that something's wrong inside. It's just like, if you're in pain, don't just sleep in, just do something about it. Yeah, thank you, everyone.
Okay, thank you so much, sis. Thank you. I love you. Thank you for joining me tonight. Okay, so with that, I say bye for now. And we must remember, again, everything that is entrusted to us, time, talent, treasure, resources, whatever, needs to be shared. It's not for us alone, but to be shared. In the end, we will be accountable for that. So again, maraming salamat. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. See you next week. God bless.